So, what was the motivation behind starting Crew Gal?
Well, I've worked in the live music business for about 25 years. And when the pandemic hit, I was still having conversations with lots of women who were trying to get work in stage crewing and all the tech roles in live music. And they were still facing the same challenges I faced when I started out years and years ago. And then when the pandemic hit, I thought, actually, now is a really good opportunity because we knew, looking at our industry, how difficult it was going to be to rebuild it and to
Yeah.
get more bodies involved and get more workers and trained professionals involved. And I thought that's a real opportunity for us to make positive change happen because
Yeah.
they weren't going to be able to say no to women anymore. The doors weren't going to be shut in our face because they would have no other choice. So I used the pandemic as something really, really positive for people who don't normally get the opportunity to access employment in live music. And we use that as a sort of catalyst to bring about Crew Gal and make change happen and look after our women in the industry and just support them and train them up and keep pushing them in their careers.
But like potentially, even though COVID was obviously such a difficult time for the music industry, it was, as you've just mentioned, a bit of a reset period to actually come back fresh onto the scene with these changes that, you've had the time behind the scenes to get ready and get organised. And
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
It's 100% that. I mean, I don't think there would have been another opportunity or an easier opportunity for us as women to say, actually, we exist. We are
yeah,
as good as you. We can do the job. Let us in and let's create a better working environment. Let's
mm,
everyone work together for the greater good and just to make it a more harmonious, like nice place to work. I mean, the music industry, as you know, we all work in it for a reason because we absolutely
yeah.
love it. And I want everyone to have amazing opportunities and have an amazing time when they're at work. So for that to become a possibility, it was like, right, this is our moment. If we don't act now, I don't know when we're going to be able to.
To just sort of jump in as well, when I came on board with Susan, like I've had a background, my background is both as a musician and on the tech side of things as well. And so I've kind of had that perspective of, so I'm a guitar player, and obviously like the world of guitar playing also not a bit, not the best always to be a woman. I've had a lot of great things. I've had some difficult stuff as well. But it was so interesting then going into the sound engineering tech side of things, that is definitely, at least in my experience, a lot more challenging in terms of gender biases and things. I think because it's not public facing,
Yeah.
it's very easy to, but maybe really just push the equality in what's visible, where sometimes you will literally be in a scenario where you've got a fantastic lineup of all women musicians and they're standing on a stage that's been built by misogynists. Then it's like it needs to start there. All of the tech crew, in my experience over the years, you're always looking at a male crew.
Yeah.
And I think that can discourage young female artists. What is your favourite thing about your job?
Do you know what? I just really love everyone I work with. And I know that sounds really, really boring, but I do. I think we're just surrounded by really like-minded people and we all really love what we do. And we also find what we do really important and impactful. And I think when we're all together and we're throwing ideas about and we're coming up with new concepts about pushing ourselves forward so we can be seen and help other people, just being surrounded by like-minded people who want to be on this journey with us, it's just great. I mean, that's what I love. I just love being around everyone who's got the same ideas about wanting to achieve the same things in live music for women and people who aren't represented as much as they should be. When we find out one of our lasses is going off and doing something incredible and we're all mega jealous, we're just really excited for them and we're ringing each other going, have you heard what they're doing? Have you heard? It's like a family and we all take care of each other and I really love that. And I don't think I've had that in any other job, of being surrounded by some really great people who are just incredibly talented at what they do as well and watching them thrive.
That's so exciting. Like you see one of your crew members go off and do an amazing tour. Like it feels like you've all won when someone gets a job like that. Yeah, and a lot of people that come on board are just real music lovers, and they want to facilitate it more. And so it's one of those things that when you go to like a careers counselor in school, no one ever sits you down and goes, you should be a pyrotechnician for a massive rock band and go around the world. It will be mint. People don't realize that that's something you can actually do.
Definitely. So what do you think is the toughest part?
I think the toughest part with the whole journey has been having bigger companies believe in what we do. People are really, really keen to nod their heads and say, that's really great, but then they do nothing. So it's trying to get people to take action alongside us to try and help that change happen quicker. I mean, we're really lucky because we work with some great people and we work with tour managers and different venues, but there aren't enough people who will recognise and this is an actual issue and giving a paid service to it rather than actually taking action. And that is very frustrating from our point of view because we want to change the world.
And yeah, Susan says that's the difficulty is like there's this one idea of what an effective crew looks like that I think is safe and comfortable and has been there for a really long time. And even from that, you know, the age-old adage of will a group of lasses be strong enough? I mean, a lot of our lasses drive forklifts. They can, you know, physically do any job that is required of them. But it's just getting people to realize that if they get a crew of like nice trained people that just want to be there for the right reasons, that it will work. You know, it's about also doing a really good job.
We had this really amazing moment a few months ago. We went to this conference and we were all there in our pink boiler suits and we'd sprayed some guitars pink and hung them off from the ceiling where this booth was because it was just basically to draw up some business and stuff like that. And honestly, you'd thought the biggest rock stars on the planet had arrived. The place went berserk. I mean, we didn't lift our heads up from like about 4 or 5 hours. We're just getting bombarded with people and questions about what we do, and everyone being completely shocked about what goes on in our industry and being able to vocalize it and tell people from all these different tech industries that one, we're a job, we're also a viable career. Yes, we get paid for it. Yes, we're girls. And this is the change we're trying to make. And that day was a real huge highlight for the team, I think, to all be together and to come together and see the huge impact that we've made cross-sector, right across loads of tech industries and be seen as professionals in tech.
Whenever we sort of explain what we're about and somebody goes, God, what a great idea. I didn't think of that. Oh, that's great. You know, just any time that somebody gets what we're going for is great.
It must have been so validating to have that positive recognition in that moment. What sort of opportunities do you offer for women wanting to start a career in live music?
So we have our own sister training company. So we specialise obviously in live music production where we train everyone from the same level. Everything from building the stages, loading and unloading trucks, right through to light and sound, pyrotechnics, costume, wardrobe, you name it, we've got a trainer in it. Tour management, sustainable touring, all of those different things. We train people in it and then we find them employment. So before they actually leave us, they can, if they're deciding to go on to be self-employed, they get given the tools to be able to go and do that and get put in front of the really good touring companies, or they work directly for us and we can then put them straight out into employment for us. And then they get supported on their journey, which is the real big thing that we wanted to make sure happened. So we have dedicated GPs, we've got specialists in menopause, we've got specialists in women's health, we've got nutritionists working for us, we've got all sorts of different things going on behind the scenes to make sure when you're out there and you're on the road, you're not alone. You can pick up a phone, one of us can be there. We've got people up and down the country. And we're also that voice. So if you are afraid, if any of our women are on site and they are frightened about being sacked because they don't want to speak out, but then we speak out on their behalf. We'll go onto the sites, we'll check on them, we'll check on facilities, and we'll speak to the management if something isn't right or any of our staff have been harassed.
What is the most important piece of advice you've been given or the best lesson that you've learned?
A good friend of mine, he said, allow everyone to underestimate you. And he told us that when I was 16 and I've never forgot it. And when people are stood in front of us, patronising us and talking to me like I have no idea what I'm talking about, I just let them continue and then do my job.
This is one of those ones that sounds deeply cynical and awful at first, but you know that thing of the advice of no one cares. That sounds really ridiculous, but as in, you know, your ego can so often tell you, especially when you're going out there and you look visibly different. Oh my goodness, everyone's thinking about me, everyone's judging me. I can't put myself forward and do this. I can't be inserted, whatever. And if you just remind yourself like you're the center of nobody's universe but your own, so just crack on. Don't worry about the outside voyeur of yourself.
I wish you could come and tell that to teenage me. What's next for you and Crew Gal? Have you got some exciting things in the pipeline you can share with us? Any secrets that we can know at this point?
Well, we are working closely with a couple of venues to go and do some crew work up and down the country. We're also at Coast Fest, so we crewing all of the stages at Coast Fest this summer.
The actual crew, the Crew Gal crew itself, is still, in the grand scheme of things, relatively speaking, new launch, but we've already had some, you know, various bookings come in, theatres, arenas, etc. So I think we're just looking forward to getting our crew out there more. I think just building and growing and raising more awareness, and hopefully there'll be pink boiler suits all over the place.
Pink boiler suits at every festival and gig.
Exactly. You'll be able to spot us very easily.
I cannot wait to see these pink boiler suits. It's been so awesome learning about Crew Gal, and I think it's really exciting, and I cannot wait for more awareness to spread as well as boiler suits.